Let's think back to the project that was proposed in the introduction. We'll follow the project through its development using two different methods of project management to see how decreasing the amount of documentation affects the outcome of the project. In the first situation, where your team is using traditional methods of project development, your first step after being assigned the project is to sit down with your team and spend months creating a huge timeline and detailing how and when every aspect of the product will be made. The finished documentation is substantial, and your team originally feels a sense of pride in locking down the project so thoroughly. However, you run into trouble when you get closer to finishing the project as you had planned it. While discussing the planned dates for testing the application with the customer, a large misunderstanding of the project requirements is uncovered. The product that you and your team spent 6 months planning and almost a year developing isn't what the customer wants. When your team created the original documentation, you made a couple of assumptions about the project requirements that led you off on the wrong track. Now, you've wasted a lot of time creating the wrong product, and it's going to be almost impossible to create the product the customer actually wants within the required time frame and budget. Your team is disheartened, and you don't know how to proceed. A lot of your team's work was wasted because you spent so long documenting what you now might consider to be the wrong product. What if you hadn't spent so long on the documentation? What if you'd worked closer with the customer and performed regular feature demonstrations? The actual development would have started earlier, and you would have received feedback as you progressed. This would give more flexibility to adapt the product over time. Let's look at the same example again and see where your team could have done things differently to achieve a more positive outcome.